WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Tonight we are tracking some breaking news out of Floyd County. Around 4:30, we learned Kentucky State Police charged a man with murder. We have his mugshot. His name is Wesley Martin. Police say they found a man buried in his yard last night in Wayland, and just moments ago we learned that man found is Jordan Tackett, and you might remember his name. We've told you about him several times in the last few weeks. He went missing in February. Now Martin was arraigned this morning. A not guilty plea was entered on his behalf. We have our Justin Case in Prestonsburg gathering more information on this, and he will join us at 6 with the very latest. We are learning new details about a single vehicle crash along Highway 25E in Bell County. Police say a 33-year-old Pineville man was killed this morning. WYMT's Hannah Reynolds has the latest.
Police say around 8:45 Friday morning, they responded to a call about a man who crashed off US 25. just before Pineville city limits.
All indications he ran off the roadway, left the roadway southbound. He impacted the rock wall,
causing the car to flip several times.
At which point the driver was ejected.
Police say they arrived within minutes of the call.
And he was alive at the scene when we arrived.
And they say once they identified who Hatfield was and the extent of his injuries, they sent him for treatment.
And later died at the hospital in Pineville.
Pingleton says he hated having to call Hatfield's family. He says even after 28 years of law enforcement, having to be the one to tell families about their loved one's death has never gotten easier.
If you have half a heart and don't know the people, they're still not easy. It's just tough. It's just tough.
Hatfield was sent to the Kentucky State Medical Examiner's office where an autopsy will be performed Saturday morning. In Bell County, Hannah Reynolds, WYMT Mountain News.
The Bell County coroner's investigation is pending while waiting on the autopsy report. Prosecutors want to drop charges against a man police say stabbed a woman at a truck stop last year. Brandon Curtis Hoskins faces charges of attempted murder, possession of a controlled substance, and several others. Court officials tell us prosecutors moved to drop the charges because the victim is not cooperating. He was set to go on trial later this month. A West Virginia mother who claimed a man tried to kidnap her daughter is facing charges. Police say they are going to charge Santana Adams with falsely reporting an emergency incident. Earlier this week, Adams reported a man from Egypt tried to take his daughter from a shopping mall. She said she pulled out a gun to stop him. Police arrested the man. They soon learned, though, that Adams lied. Police dropped the charges against the man yesterday.
I'm out here at the ARH Medical Mall parking lot here in Hazard, where Power Up the Pantry is having their first annual event. And really, you still have about 30 minutes to come out and donate. They have collected a lot of food and a lot of money today. I'll have more on that in just a little bit. But let's go ahead and dive into weather. We're seeing those mostly cloudy skies across our area, but it's still pretty comfortable out there. You'll notice on our Stonecrest cam, those mostly cloudy skies really continuing. We've seen pockets of sunshine here and there. Hopefully we'll see those clouds clear out a little bit more by the time we get into the overnight hours. 63 in Jackson right now with those mostly cloudy skies. Once again, dew points in the lower 50s. It's actually a little bit muggier outside than what we're used to. Temperatures are into those really low to mid 60s. Here in Hazard, we're seeing a little bit of a warm spot of 67 degrees. Now you'll notice here as we look at satellite and radar, those clouds really just kind of sticking around throughout the day. Those showers that got out of here a little bit earlier this morning as well. And we're continuing to see those clouds stick around. But like I said, hopefully by the time we get to the overnight hours, we'll see those mostly cloudy skies turn into partly cloudy skies. Now, sunshine does return as we head into tomorrow. I do think we do see pockets of sunshine, though, with some clouds in the mix. We do have a very warm weekend ahead. We'll see those warmer temperatures continue. Showers and storms return by the time we get into your Sunday. I'll have more on that coming up in just a little bit.
All right, thank you, Paige. President Trump stopped in California today for a visit at the southern U.S. border. Before departing the nation's capital, he said he has not changed his mind about closing the border with Mexico. CBS's Mo Lalingi reports from the White House.
A cheering crowd greeted President Trump when he landed in California to take part in a roundtable discussion in Calexico with law enforcement officers and immigration officials about border security.
There is indeed an emergency on our southern border. It's been loud and clear.
President Trump is also touring the border in Calexico. The White House says the 2-mile section of fencing is the first part of the president's proposed border wall. But some question whether it's new construction or the replacement of an existing barrier that dates back to 2009. President Trump says more is on the way.
We expect to have close to 400 miles done within about 2 years from now. That's a lot.
Thursday, President Trump backed off his threat to shut down the southern border with Mexico, his response to a surge of Central Americans seeking asylum at the border, many of them families.
The system is full. And when it's full, there's nothing you can do. You have to say, I'm sorry, we can't take you.
The president says he has not changed his mind about the situation at the border, but that he'd rather take a different approach. He's threatening 25% tariffs on cars coming into the U.S. and other unspecified economic penalties to counter drug smuggling. Some Republican lawmakers in border states say a shutdown would have been economically damaging.
It would cause as much damage to the U.S. economy as it would to the Mexican economy.
President Trump will also attend a fundraiser in Beverly Hills and will overnight in Las Vegas. Mola Lenghi, CBS News, the White House.
Construction of the first new fencing built under the Trump administration is slated to begin soon in the Rio Grande Valley. Nicholas Cruz faced a judge today. He's accused of killing 17 people at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Florida last year. His attorneys tried to convince the judge to excuse Cruz from more pretrial hearings. They say his presence draws television coverage that could emotionally damage survivors of the shooting. The motion was ultimately disregarded. Cruz's attorneys have said he would plead guilty in exchange for a life sentence. Prosecutors are seeking the death penalty. While we wish we were there, the Cats fell just short of making the Final Four. But today, fans from those 4 teams gathered in Minneapolis ahead of tomorrow night's Final Four games. You'll be able to watch all those games right here on WYMT. Auburn will look to knock off #1 seed Virginia in the opening game around 6:09, and then it's Texas Tech and Michigan State after that. The championship is Monday night at 9, also here on WYMT. Kentucky native and country music star Billy Ray Cyrus has joined forces with rapper Lil Nas X. Billy Ray is on a remix of the rapper's song that was removed from the Billboard country charts. The song is called Old Town Road. It debuted on the charts in March and reached number 19. However, it was removed because officials say it didn't embrace enough elements of country music. Lil Nas X was able to get some help from Billy Ray, hoping the song makes it back on the charts. Power Up the Pantry continues for a little while longer here in Perry and in Floyd counties. Now, all of today's proceeds in Prestonsburg will help replenish the God's Pantry Food Bank. Its volunteers serve 7 eastern Kentucky counties. They are set up in the parking lot of the Big Sandy Community and Technical College. You can bring by non-perishable food items as well as hygiene products and, of course, monetary donations. Sherry Zilka with Big Sandy Community and Technical College says giving money could have a greater impact.
We can use that to purchase large quantities at a reasonable price, less than you would get if you went to the store and bought them on your own. So we're very thankful, we're very grateful for the contributions of these organizations.
Kentucky Power donated $5,000 to God's Pantry Food Bank. Other organizations also donated money. Anthem donated $10,000 and a bus. Volunteers have collected more than 1,000 pounds of food. If you have not stopped by, you still have time. They will be there until 6 o'clock in both the Hazard and Prestonsburg locations. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, ever wondered what products are best for you? Well, Consumer Reports breaks down which dishwasher detergents work the best.
And mild conditions here at the Power Up the Pantry event in Hazard. Will that continue into the weekend? We'll break down that full forecast in just a little bit.